So, welcome to your class of 2021 webinar. Exciting times. Just when you thought you were done with Zoom, you get to come back to it. We are excited to be here with you tonight. Again, it was so amazing to see those of you who came to school today. And for those of you who are coming tomorrow, I purposely signed up for the 100 entrance so I could see seniors every single day that you're on campus, because that makes my day. So we're going to be talking tonight about typical senior things that happen, how we're going to make some of those work during this state that we're still in. We are going to talk through our two graduation options. We're giving you two choices and y'all are going to vote. What else? Miss Blaine's going to do all of her important senior advisor stuff.
Yep.
We'll have a chance for you to ask some questions. We're going to remind you to check your emails. And then we're going to remind you to encourage your parents to come to next week's webinar. A lot of them, I'll say this, a lot of your parents have been reaching out saying what they want for you. And we thought it was really important that we hear your voices and get what you want and then share that with them next week. So some parents may be listening, totally fine. We're never going to know. But what we really wanted to do is make sure we captured your voice, because you obviously have missed out on so many things that we want to make sure we make this end time of your senior years and your high school experience what you want it to be. So without further ado, Miss JJ, are you up?
Yeah, I am. Sorry. I just want a reminder, because I think it's good for us to be, very aware, but just all in the same place, that we are bound by a lot of restrictions and a lot of rules and procedures. None of those rules and procedures are ours. They're being dictated from the state. They're being dictated from the Snohomish County Health District, and then also from our district level. And so when we look through the options that we have today, these are our ways of trying to make the best of a situation that we have little control in. And the three people that are on your screen right now really enjoy control. And so all of this has been one big problem solving of the last year. So keep that in mind as you're processing through what we're going through, and then our options. And when it's time for question and answer too, think through those things, because some of our answers might come back to you and be like, that's just because that's what the guidelines say, and that's what we have to follow. So, but we're excited for you guys to be here. We're excited for you to be at school and to have that piece. I have people sending me pictures of my face, so
that's why I don't share my cell phone number with them. Yeah, okay,
it's fine.
You look nice and rosy, and I look really pale.
It's true, I was outside. But yeah, and so we're going to go through all the things that we have to offer and what we want to give you, and then Seamers is going to start with graduation.
Yeah, and just please know, the three of us, and I think all adults that are working at the school right now, we're trying to find the best ways to honor the traditions that are normal MHS senior class traditions, but also we are excited to offer something that's uniquely class of 2021 as well. So we're going to just start with graduation, because I think that's the big one. So I think most of you know that last year, based on where we were with guidance and regulations, we ended up doing a drive-through ceremony on campus. For that time, it was awesome. I think the families loved it. We got lots of positive feedback. It was a unique experience. So that's going to be option one. Option one is a drive-through option. You get two cars this time instead of one. One of the cool things about that option is that this is the closest families will ever be to the graduates. Like normally in the arena, you're down on the stage and they're up in the stands. And our option two is a situation like that. So with the drive-through, your family is literally maybe 10 yards max away, and they get to take pictures and they're right there. And you get a special escort by the school board president and superintendent up to the stage. I think
teacher gauntlet cheering you on.
Yeah, there's a whole line of teachers and staff that cheer for you. And we made it pretty big. So that's option one. Option number two is doing an outdoor ceremony at Evergreen Speedway. It allows all 400-ish of you to be together, and each student would get 6 tickets. So that's a little more like our traditional graduation that's held at the arena. And we're going to do a poll. So you're going to get to, I don't know what's in the Q&A right now, but we'll give you a chance to ask questions to kind of clarify too. But if you're voting, awesome. Vote in the Q&A, but we're not going to vote till we have a poll. But so the Speedway is more traditional, where there's going to be you all sitting together and then a stage that you go up and on while the parents are in the stands. And then again, 6 tickets each. We are going to order tents. Everything's going to be covered. It allows us to do a couple other of the cool high school tradition pieces that we do that Miss JJ and Miss Blaine are going to talk about a little bit later. But for now, I'm curious what questions you have before you want to vote. So you see Debbie has raised their hand. Debbie, I'm going to allow you to talk, which means you can unmute yourself and share your question. And if you feel better putting it in the Q&A, you can. And I'm happy to put you back into talking or back into your spot. Okay, I'm going to lower your hand, Debbie. I'm going to put you back in the group. All right. And if you want to throw something in the Q&A, Debbie, you can. So your answer. So just so you know, if you're not following in the Q&A, questions about COVID safety wise, as opposed to the regular ceremony pre-COVID. That's a great question. In the arena, when we had that, we could all be together. The arena would not allow for you all to be together. We would have to have probably 3 separate ceremonies. So we would split you by alpha. And even then, you'd probably be limited to 2 to 3, maybe 4 tickets each. So the outdoor Evergreen Speedway option gives us the closest thing to what we've normally done for graduation for an in-person large ceremony. Next question is, so I want to make sure we say these because again, people may not be looking. JJ, do you want to say some out loud? I'm trying to scroll through.
Yes, I can. Someone asked if non-family people can come, and I said yes. You get 6 tickets, and so you can give them to who you want to give them to.
Yep.
Someone also asked if it would have the speeches like a graduation normally does, and it would. So this is your option. That face was really good too. I'm sure someone screenshotted it. That you would have your student speaker, you'd have a staff chosen student speaker, Mr. Willie would talk, a school board member would talk, and then we present the class to the school board for acceptance for graduation, and then we go through graduation. Yeah.
Question asked in there, are masks required? Masks are going to be required all the time, no matter where we're at, unless we get to a point of no restrictions by June 11th. I can almost guarantee we're not going to be a point of no restrictions. So indoors or outdoors, masks would be required. They're required at the Speedway when you go. You have to wear masks. You have to socially distance, even when they're doing the races. And so that's no different from us. And even though we're off site, we still have to abide by our school district decisions that have already been made in regards to that. So if you've been to any of the races, the way that the seating is currently set up is not the way that the seating would be for the guests that come for graduation ceremony. Lots of questions coming in.
Yep. Okay. Did the baby one go away?
Yes, I said a baby in arms would be fine, just like at the event center.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have a seat, a baby with a parent that's not going to be on a seat itself would be fine.
Sure. Are we going to have a class picture this year? Probably not, because I don't think we can all get into a frame socially distant.
Yeah. With the drive up, I lost that one. So with the drive-through graduation, with the 2 cars pull up, seniors get out, get escorted, walk in. Yep. So that one, you pull up, the senior gets out, escorted to the podium where the person reads their name. They walk up on stage, they get a couple pictures, they turn their tassel, they walk off the stage and head back to their car.
The date planned for graduation, if you guys choose the Speedway, it would be June 11th, which is a Friday. The drive-through one, it takes 2 days, so it would be Friday and Saturday, so it'd be June 11th and 12th.
Total seats at the Speedway, that's a great question. So our max is 2,500 under current restrictions. The nice thing is, even if we go back to phase 2, they've already determined that graduation ceremonies and events can fall under the phase 3 guidance. So what we're talking about with you today, unless there's a massive uptick and they shut everything down, right? That's how that would work. So not all guests would be able to sit undercover necessarily, but we would be able to fit 2,400 people in that space. Sorry, Miss Blaine, I was literally answering that one when you said you wanted to answer it live.
Oh, no, I clicked it. Oh, done. Sorry,
Yeah,
done.
just click done. How
Done.
much distancing is mandated in the seating and programming of every group? Everyone, even there. So your group could sit together, like your whoever is there to support you. If you had a group of 4 and a group of 2, that group of 4 would be able to sit together, and the group of 2 would be able to sit together. But the groups are 6 feet apart. And then for students, you all have to be seated 6 feet apart down on the racetrack.
Also, there won't be food offered because we can't eat.
Will seating be assigned or first come, first serve? It is assigned. We have to assign it. We do not have a choice. And so we will be doing a process where you'll come in and tell us how many tickets you need. And then we actually are going to do a Google form. You tell us how many tickets you need and in what groupings. Like maybe you want all 6 people together. Maybe you need 3 groups of 2, however that breaks down. You'll fill out that Google form, and then we will create the tickets for you. And then you would pick those up just like we do through our normal checkout process in any given year. So let's see. Drive-through graduation, will we be allowed to have people in the back of trucks, or does everyone have to fit in a seat? So last year, if you got to see any of that or hear about it, we are not turning people away. I will tell you, it's not legal for you to ride on the street in the back of the truck if there's room inside. But once you get on campus, you could pull off to the side and put people in the back. But it's really kind of your thing. And honestly, that day, there's a lot of things that looked a little bit different, and that's okay. So any other questions before I launch this poll? We're now up to just 80. Will there be a parade like last year? JJ is going to talk about the parade in a little bit. Gown colors have been decided. There was a vote and you got to order one of the 2, and Miss JJ, maybe you could
should have ordered already.
They were definitely ordered. They've been delivered. So yes, it was black and white were the 2 options. And so if a person didn't choose white, then they got black.
Got it. Official graduation day set or last day of school for seniors, or both. So if we're at the Speedway, we would do Friday night, June 11th. And it would actually be, are you laughing at the cute?
No, I'm laughing at the next question.
The cute one, I love it. Anyways, we'll wait for it. But Friday night, June 11th, and we probably would have you there from like noon doing a practice, some other things that Miss JJ is going to talk about. And then we get to the ceremony. And then after the ceremony, there's going to be a little salute. And so that's going to be like a Friday night at the Speedway is going to be the whole kind of afternoon day-ish with us. And then if we did the drive-through to make that happen, guys, that actually takes about 14 hours. It's crazy. And so we would do a Friday afternoon from like probably 4 to 8, and then we do all day Saturday. So you might get like a 9 a.m. Saturday morning, you might get a 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon, you might get a Friday night at 6. It just kind of all depends on number of kiddos and who wants to participate in all of that. JJ, you do the next question because
I got it. I don't know who the anonymous attendee who asked this question is, but I just want you to know I really appreciate it because it needs to look good, right? We will, with that said, it is like a racetrack. So like there's only so much that we can do to make it look pretty. And so we'll obviously do our best to make it look pretty. But I mean, when we have it at Comcast too, we bring in,
flowers and
that kind of stuff
and whatever. Yeah.
But it's also, you're still very aware that you're in an arena. So it'll be a similar feel. We'll have some other stuff that will make it special as well, but we will do our very best.
Question asked that got dismissed about how many hours will your guests be there? So the drive up, I mean, what we do is we schedule you in like a 30-minute window. And so sometimes you have a little bit of a wait as you approach the stage. And then it's literally, you get out of your car, class of 2021 senior, Jeanette Seamers. Woo, party, yeah. And you walk off the stage and you get back in your car and you drive away. It's not, I would bet it would be an hour door to door for you. The ceremony, if we do a full ceremony with speeches and all of that, usually takes a couple hours. Because it's assigned seating, families wouldn't have to line up early and feel like, oh my gosh, we've got to be there super early. So that one probably would end up being about 2.5 hours, depending on if you opt into kind of some things afterwards and whatnot. So was there another question that got in there?
They asked if they
If
would
we do the drive up's at MHS. We do the
Yeah.
drive up, basically you come up the hill, you come around, you go back, and it's behind the bleachers where the drive up is. We have the stage set up with the mountains behind you. So when the pictures are taken, you're standing on a stage with an overhead piece. You can see the mountains behind you. Last year we had big winds. It was kind of fun. The stoles were flying everywhere. So we had to take a couple pictures over again, but it was beautiful. Even though it was a little rainy, it was amazing. So people really enjoyed that personal touch. So the drive up, if you choose drive up, is at MHS.
Miss JJ cannot wait to answer your question about prom in a little bit. She's going to answer that one. Will we be able to say bye to our favorite teachers? Well, only if you want to say goodbye to your favorite admin as well. That's the only
And
way
it
you
has
get
to be
say bye.
socially distanced.
Whoever the
You can't get
anonymous
out of the car to
attendee
go
was.
hug them.
Sorry, Miss Blaine, what'd you say?
It has to be socially distanced. You're not supposed to get out of the car to go hug the teachers because the teachers are on the side and the cars go down the middle if we do drive up.
There may have been hugging as students came off stage.
I didn't say that.
Are we allowed to take pictures with our classmates after graduation at Speedway, or is that strictly prohibited? So the big thing around distancing is 15 minutes, right? So you have to, within 6 feet, 15 minutes. And so if you took a picture with someone and then you move to take a picture with someone else, I mean, I know, Susie, how much you love your senior friends, and I know you hang out with them more than 15 minutes unmasked outside of school, but we have to kind of make sure we're following those kinds of things. Yeah, we had a lot of positive feedback from last year's graduation. I'm having a great day. Whoever asked that, thank you. I got to see students today. What else? Anything? We good? All right, I think y'all are ready to vote. So I'm going to put a poll up. I would like you to make sure, if you are in a setup where you can't vote in the poll, you are welcome to email Miss JJ or myself your response. So if you're like on a phone or something that you can't do it, no worries. But I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. I'm looking for 83 responses. You can see up there, option 1 is the drive-through. Option 2 is the seated ceremony. Yeah, that's about what I thought. And we'll share. What?
You are voting, obviously. Do make sure that you understand this is rain or shine. Actually, either of these are rain or shine.
Yep. But we are going to be doing tents. I mean, that's the plan, is to look into tents and have things covered and whatnot. So I've currently got 68 of you who have voted out of 84. So give you just a little bit longer to respond here.
You guys are doing great.
You're doing awesome. You're
My puppies were very mad at me that we were at school all day and not home. So that's why they're looking for extra love tonight.
My slippers were mad at me.
Okay. We're at 76. We're getting close. 91% of you have voted, and maybe others don't want to vote. 78. Going to give it about a minute more, maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds is good.
30 seconds is going to be enough. I think our percentages are enough that kind of show us.
Yeah, it's not going to change the outcome.
Yeah. All right. I haven't seen anybody vote in about 20 seconds. So do you know, I can't remember if I end it. Can I show it, or do I just share my screen now?
You end it and then you'll be able to share it.
All right. I'm going to show you guys the response that y'all voted on. Can you see that?
It'll be on the 11th.
So 83% chose the seated ceremony at Evergreen Speedway, and 17% showed the drive-through. What I would say, and I'm curious what Miss Blaine and Miss JJ think about this, with only about 25% of our seniors being here, I am a little bit interested in knowing what other seniors might think.
We can send out a Google form and have a day turnaround on it.
Yeah. So you think we'll make sure we send that? Yeah, I hear you. An anonymous person said they like the idea of their family being able to be close and get pictures of them walking, but they also want to see everyone else graduate. And yeah, that is, you get one with one and one with the other. And that's what makes this hard.
I would also say too, that at Speedway, you will be closer than you would be at Comcast.
Yeah.
And then also we hired a photographer last year, and we'll hire one this year as well to get like an up close picture of you graduating too. So you don't have to have like, a super crazy lens to get a good picture.
Nope. Can we start texting our families with the date to invite them to the ceremony? I would wait until we finish the poll, like the Google form that we send out to seniors. Again, we're going to do that pretty quickly. Um, we'll probably actually even send that out either tonight or first thing tomorrow and have a pretty quick turnaround time to see if there's, yeah, I think the ratio, someone says, I'm sure the ratio will match. I think it will probably too. And it's big enough of a gap that it's likely will be at the Speedway on the 11th. But we want to make sure that we're giving other people a voice as well. If they were I know a lot of people were working tonight. And so we want to make sure they have a chance to vote as
So
well.
make sure you get your friends to check their email.
Yeah.
Be one vote per person, has to be school email. So make sure you need to have clothes under your gown.
No, wait, you have to tell them. Wait, so there was someone who asked, what are the restrictions on clothes underneath the gown?
All right.
Well,
so
we've got
about 6 or 7 years back, we went to the arena and 2 boys were discovered to have absolutely nothing under their gown. And at the time, Mr. Lombardi was our principal, and he had to have the conversation with the parents about why their 2 young men would not be walking. And why they had to take them home right now because they had nothing under their gowns. So
not even underwear. Please don't do that. That's right.
Nope. No.
And we actually, as you come into the space, again, you're going to be with us most of the day down at the Speedway. But as you come in, you kind of have to show us like, what are you wearing? Right. Like, and we do, we have you'll have grad gear, like you'll have your stole that you wear. And then if you earn honor cords or seal of biliteracy or National Honor Society things, all of those are able to be worn over your graduation.
So do you need a gown to walk is a question. And yes, you do need a gown to walk. If there's some hardship or financial obligation, email me and I will help get you in touch with the right people to help you with that. But yes, you do need a gown to walk. Now, traditionally, we have not allowed any paraphernalia or other things on the gown because of the formality of being on the floor together and having everybody look the same. We're going to have to discuss that again if the vote goes to Speedway. Because when you did the personalized graduation, everybody decorated their caps last year. And I don't know if that's something that we would want to do if everybody's on the field, because it makes it makes it look uneven and makes people stand out when we want the graduation to be about everybody. So that's something that we'd have to discuss again as well. So decorating your caps, not positive. If we have it at Speedway, we might say no to that so that nobody stands out in the crowd compared to anyone else. So it's an equitable graduation. If we were to do it individually, we didn't care. Everybody decorated last year.
Yep. Would the band be able to play? I love that. Or someone answer that? Did someone answer that? Thanks. We're working on that piece. We'd love for the band to be there. We have different regulations that we have to follow when the band is there. We were able to set it up so they could come play at the last home football game. We're going to be able to set it up so they can play at basketball games. And so I'm confident that when I set up the safety plan for this, we're going to be able to have the band there, but we're working on that piece. We need to talk to Miss Ray to make sure that's something that she wants to. Oh yeah, Emma, there are a lot of cords to list. There's honor cords and academic cords. And so with all the cords and honors stuff, all of that comes on senior awards night, and you'll get more information as we get close to that. And so
senior awards night is usually a week before graduation.
It's May 27th. That date's been set.
Yep.
May 26th or May 27th. But we'll talk through all those. May 27th is when it is. Sorry. So. All right.
There is a website, right, with the senior reminders letter on it. So if you go to the Monroe website, you can view any updates that we have right on that website, because it's a document that we keep putting new dates, new information, etc. into. So if you miss something, you can always check that website. And I will put that in there in just a second.
And then there was a question about, will things be online, certain things be online or in person? And Miss JJ is going to start going through all the other senior events and talk about which ones end up being celebrated how.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Great. All right, guys, we have a table to look at, so I hope you enjoy this. So remember, the purpose of all of our senior activities and senior recognition is to provide closure for your 12 years of education, to recognize your accomplishments, to celebrate your success, to catapult you into the future. and also to celebrate being together, right? And so everything that we do is always, those are always our key components that we're looking at. One of the things that I go back to time and time again, especially in the last year, is that it's the feeling of closure that we're most responsible for giving you. And so, because it's a big accomplishment, right? It's like your first really large accomplishment, and we honor that and we understand that. And so I've had to go back to that idea because, especially last spring, like everything that I would normally do to celebrate seniors was immediately shut down and canceled. And so we went back to like, what can we do to create that feeling? This year it's a little more open. And so, but we're going to go through what that looks like for each thing that we do as we close out the year for seniors. So you'll note at the top, there's a phase 2 restrictions, which is what we were in. We're actually currently in phase 3 restrictions. We included phase 2 because some counties are going back to phase 2 based off of their COVID rates going up. And so we wanted to keep that in there to make sure you understood like what could happen in going back. As Seamer said, for graduation specific things like graduation, moving up ceremony, senior awards, stuff like that. Once our county has been in phase 3, like we will remain in phase 3 for that, even if the rest of our county went back to for phase 2 and everything else. So it gets a little confusing. And then I did no restrictions, which isn't going to happen, but I also, it could, right? Like we could all, it could. Miracles happen. So anyway, so the first one is prom. There will not be prom. We can't do that in a safe manner in any way, shape, or form. So we have pushed our venue out till next year, and we fully understand and recognize how that's hard on people, and the fact that you didn't get a homecoming either, and you don't get prom. And so I know there's some proms being planned on the side, and whatever you guys do for that, I hope that you're safe, and I hope that you keep each other safe. But that's just something that we can't do under the guidelines that we have. Senior award ceremony. We're in phase 3. So it's going to be the seniors and then 2 guests in the gym. And so that Seamer said they'll be May 27th. So that's happening. Spring Fling. We can't have Spring Fling. I have this like wonderful like vision in my head of it happening, but if we can have it, we'll have some games out and battle the bands and music and stuff. But right now we can't. Senior dinner. Right now we're at a potential senior dinner. We could do it socially distanced and outside. I have one idea of us having a senior meal together on the day of graduation, but we have to work through a whole bunch of things in order to get there. So, and we also want your input on that too, if that's something that you would like to do. We want to honor the traditions that we have, and I think I've found a way to get a lot of those traditions into our graduation day. And so I would like to do that if you guys are up for it. And senior dinner is one of those. Traditionally for senior dinner, Miss Blaine and the seniors plan it. And so it involves dinner, obviously, food, and then a show, which is with the hypnotist. And then we do the senior sunset. And so, yeah, we want to try to do that. It's all kind of up in the air. I don't know if you have questions, put them in the chat. Senior sunset, we can't really do that at school. Obviously, if we're all together at graduation, though, we would watch the sunset together. So there's another one. Senior sideshow is another one that we do at senior dinner. And so that obviously can still be made, and we can incorporate that into the senior dinner to watch together. Moving up, life is about word choice. And so this one is very key in that. So moving up is usually an assembly. We cannot assemble in large forms. Also, it'd be really weird to do an assembly with only half a school there on one day. But we can do a moving up ceremony. And so what I would like to do is do the moving up ceremony in the evening, the week of graduation on the field, with some people in the stands. Serpentine, we do that after moving up, where we go on the field and you make a big circle, and then we have sad music playing, and you look at each other in the eye to say goodbye. But you're holding hands for a solid like 17 minutes. And you're really close to each other. So we can't really do that. But you can do it on your own. You can stare at each other awkwardly. Seamers like hates the idea. She's never actually watched Serpentine, and so she hates the idea of this, but she doesn't even know the power of it. It's fine.
I don't hate the idea of it. I just am always stuck dealing with some underclassmen who decided
Oh.
to be really rude at the moving up ceremony. I've never actually gotten to have the chance to go out and enjoy it with seniors. So
It's
that's why I don't
awesome.
like it.
Yeah.
Graduation we did, so I'm gonna skip through that one. Grad gear pickup. Actually, when I send the form out tonight, I'm gonna ask this too. Last year we did a pickup drive-through at the high school in May, where you guys like showed up at the main entrance and you picked up your gear, and then you had a bunch of teachers that made like a tunnel in the parking spots outside like the 500s and 700s parking lot. And so we wanted to offer that up as an idea for you guys to pick up your gear this year. The other option is to just pick it up at school. So I'll put that in the Google form though. One way makes it more special. The other way just makes it functional and to pick up. So that's up to you guys and what you want. I know there's been a lot of talk about how the class of 2021 doesn't feel that they've been honored as much as the class of 2020. And what I say to that is that they weren't honored until about now and after, as we got closer to graduation. And as you can see through this list, we have a lot of ways that we still honor people, and we will do that. And so, but we also obviously did things differently last year, and we want to give you the opportunity if you want to continue to do that.
Can I answer this question real quick?
Yeah.
So questions around like if seniors graduated early at the semester or the quarter, are they still able to do all things? Absolutely. You're still part of the class of 2021, and we would love to have you be a part of all the things that we do to celebrate you.
Same with Running Start. It's just you'll have to make it up to the high school at some point in time.
Yeah, and if you're at the virtual academy this year too, the same thing. Elementary walkthroughs for phase 3. It's either going to be none or it's going to be a drive-through with teachers out at each school waving at the seniors. Seabers and I talked to our risk manager about this a couple days ago, and his facial expression wasn't super positive, but we also know how to work it. So we'll see what we can make happen.
Remember, this is being recorded and posted on the website. So if Mr. Burns happens to hear that,
about word choice,
Mr. Burns is amazing. He's our risk manager, and he helps us navigate when like moving up ceremony is part of the graduation ceremony. So we get to fall under different requirements than others. So Mr. Burns is a smart man. And sometimes we give him ideas because if you don't know, when Miss JJ and I get ideas, they're usually big and like really big. And sometimes he's like, no. And we're like, but we need to celebrate them. And he's like, no. That's right.
Different way.
He's like, fine. There we are. Parade. The senior parent group is planning a parade for the night of June 10th. And so that will be happening. It will be happening down Frylands. I forget the exact route off the top of my head, but it's mainly down Frylands Boulevard. Senior party, we cannot do a senior party. So for all the reasons that we can't gather. And so there you go. And that's why we have a couple of other ideas too for graduation day that can kind of tie into that. Yard signs. We partnered with Cool Change Printing to get you a graduation yard sign. And so you'll pick that up with your grad gear in May.
I shared the link, just to pause. I shared the link. We cannot share this I probably could share this document, but this is just to show you how it all works. All the information about what's going through, including the graduation events, dates, and reminders sheet. I just shared the link in answer to the last question, and you can click on it. It takes you right to the Monroe High School website. And then when you click on the graduation reminders, there is a doc that comes up. It will be changing to a spring message up top, and then it's got dates on it, links, TBD stuff. And once we find out all of the answers, this master document will have everything there. So you can check at any point in time to have a look and see what's been updated. That's the best place to go because it will be updated as soon as we have more information. So we didn't actually put today's webinar on there because spring break, but the next week's one for parents will be on there pretty quickly, so that it's all updated and you guys are updated as soon as we know.
So it's not actually a link for them. It's just an address. So maybe at the end we can have you share your screen, Miss. It's okay. Share your screen, Miss Blaine, and navigate through if they want to get there. That'd be awesome.
No, Hunter, it doesn't have your senior picture. Essentially, it'll have a Bearcat logo, and it'll say like class of 2021, and it'll have your name on it. Good question. Destination campaigns. So this is through the Career Center, and then usually we do this on Benny the Bearcat a little bit too, or the senior Instagram page, where we talk about like what you're going to do after high school, and you just share that, and then we post it on social media. We are in the process of having a picture of each of you in the hallway, because that's always fun to see everyone. We're going to work with Speedway Chevrolet to have your names up on the reader board. The senior parent group is working on an Adopt a Senior, which essentially it's like a social media campaign. I don't know if you guys saw that last year at all, but like people would adopt a senior and then they would give them little gifts leading up to graduation. And then I do believe that the senior parent group is also doing posters around town, where parents can buy posters for seniors and then put them up in businesses and whatnot. But they're taking on that part. That is all I have. Do you guys have any more questions so far?
Just here, I can share my screen. So let me drop this.
And also, as we get dates more solidified, and this is one of the reasons why we needed to have this meeting, is so we can actually solidify those dates.
It's gonna come fast. It feels like it's a long ways away. It's
Yeah.
gonna come so fast.
Let me just share my screen now. Just have to get it clicked. All right, so this right here is the main MHS website. If you go to this athletics and activities link right here, and you go over to the athletics tab, okay, that's where the class of 2021 is. And so you have to go to athletics and activities, class of 2021. And so this is the webinar we had in the fall. We'll end up posting the webinar for today in here. And then this is the graduation reminders letter. So this is the fall version. We'll get it updated to spring version very quickly because it's all happening very fast after spring break. And all of this will be updated as soon as we have information that's confirmed with all the polls and everything. Okay, and then I will stop sharing screen. All right. All right, so for me, so I think I'm up, yes?
You are.
So a couple of things to remember. Normally we get together in the pack every spring, or every fall and every spring, like we talked about before, and we just have basically a walk through everything. I would go through the newsletter normally, but you can see where the link is. A couple of reminders that you absolutely need to know, and I'm just checking my list. You need to make sure that you've checked in with your counselor to ensure that you're on track to graduate. So if you're doing anything along the lines of running START, if you're doing online credits, if you're doing MVLA, you need to make sure that you've checked in with your counselor so that you're going to have all your credits in line to graduate on time so that you can walk with us and graduate on time. So if you have not checked in with your counselor, email them. So find the alphas under the counselor list on the website. If you don't know who your counselor is, you're more than welcome to email me if you want me to connect you with your counselor and just give you the right link, but it's pretty straightforward. We have 4 counselors and they have specific alphas. A next reminder is to pay all of your fines and fees from this or past years. Make sure you've returned all your library books that you don't need and your textbooks when you're done with them. Please remember that library books and textbooks turn into fines, and you don't want to hold up getting your diploma by having a fine or a fee. A lot of things were taken off the fines and fees list because of our situation, but you might have something from past years. You might have a sports fee or a uniform fee or something like that. You need to make sure that it's paid for. If you have issues with making payments or other things, contact the finance office and they can help you out and be able to direct you in ways that will work for you. Caps and gowns, if you haven't ordered one already, you need to order one right away because they have to be able to order them from their vendor and get them shipped to us in time for graduation. If you order it too late, it will not show up until the day of or very shortly there before because of the fact that they have to order it and get it shipped in. So you can email me or you can go to the newsletter that I just showed you, and there's a link to go to National Achiever and you can order from there or give them a phone call in person. Okay, did I miss something, JJ?
No.
No. Okay. Another quick thing to remind you of, and this is something that we've always wanted to make sure that we go through the semantics of it. Graduation is, you're right. We want to make sure that you get there. We want you to be part of the ceremonies. We want to have something amazing for you this year, but you do have to remember that getting your diploma is your right. Participating in the ceremonies is a privilege. So please remember that if you complete all the requirements, get your financial stuff out of the way, you get your diploma, period. But if you want to participate in the ceremonies, we need to make sure that we're doing a couple of really important things, especially this year, making sure that we're social distancing, making sure that we're not ending up going backwards into phase 2s or horribly back into phase 1 or something like that. So make sure that you're, thinking about what you're doing, making good choices, not just towards social distancing and stuff, but also towards codes of conduct. In the past, there have been students that have done things like senior pranks and stuff like that, and they have not been able to participate in ceremonies at all. So you have to really make good choices, especially because we don't want to ruin being back on campus. We want you guys to finish the year out in a really positive way. Maybe do something unique with the Speedway and celebrate you guys as the class of 2021, the ones that made it through the big, long, distance learning year. Any questions on that? I think you guys have got them all.
Yeah.
That's my spiel. Just make sure that you're checking in with those counselors, paying those fees, and taking care of yourselves and each other.
Oh my goodness. Do we unmute? Do we allow Caleb to talk?
Madeline? Yeah. Or Wood. Caleb Wood can talk.
Caleb. Oh. Hey, Caleb, I'm gonna mute you so you can talk. But I'm gonna immediately
He'll be
disable
fine.
your talking if something goes awry. Oh, I have to promote you to a panelist, and then I can't. Then we have some real issues. Let me see what I can do here. Hold on, Caleb Mattern.
The class of 2021 was not officially able to leave locks, or class of 20 was not officially able to leave locks on the fence. They just did it. It did.
They may have been encouraged. They may have been encouraged.
Yeah.
Some really nice epic humans that love them.
Yes. So I don't think that there's an official thing that we can say yes or no to there. In fact, I don't think that's something that's sanctioned by the district. But again, that's a choice since are you off campus when you're on the other side of the fence?
Okay, Caleb, I'm going to allow you to talk. Here comes Caleb, everyone. Oh my goodness. Hi, Caleb.
Hi, buddy.
Oh, hey. I didn't know you'd be able to see my face. I was just curious.
Good thing you've got good thing you're dressed and yep, you're good.
Just a question. Will the graduation be live streamed if it's at the Speedway for family members that won't be able to go?
You know what?
We have the capacity.
For sports, we've done a lot of things for live streaming, and I happen to have a really cool new iPad coming with a fisheye lens. And so I'm pretty sure I could find someone to volunteer to live stream the graduation if we need to on our YouTube channel. That being said, I will say there are some issues and concerns that are raised with live streaming, and that is that there's not a delay. Or we have to set a delay. So if anybody decides to do something really not appropriate, we can pull the live stream before that gets live streamed, if that makes sense.
We can look into it for sure.
Yep, we'll look into it. All right, Caleb, you good?
Yeah.
Bye. Oh, no. Miss Blaine went away instead. Sorry. Bye, Caleb. Miss Blaine, I'll bring you back. That was awesome. Fat fingers, Seamers. Fat fingers. I don't have a mouse. I'm using this stupid little mouse thing on the computer. There she is. Sorry, Miss Blaine. I'm going to bring you back. Don't worry. I got you. Almost made Kyle a panelist. Sorry, Miss Blaine.
Yeah, way to make me feel loved.
There you go. Any other questions? We're here for you. We're here to answer your questions. We're here.
Yeah, that is the end of our information. And so the rest of it is just for you to ask questions about anything. If you have questions about high school and beyond, about graduation requirements, we can help you with that. Actually, I'll address high school and beyond because someone did ask. You should be completing your high school and beyond in your English classes. If you are running start or you don't have an English class, which I don't know how that would be possible, you should have gotten the information on how to complete it. If you didn't, email me and I can send you the document that shows you how to get through it. In Skyward, it will still say you're incomplete because there's actually one piece that they do like right before graduation. But your teacher should tell you if it's completed or not. Ask your counselor.
Oh yeah,
Susie,
students
with
are
regards to the
asking.
calendar. Oh, sorry.
Students are asking once we know the dates. It will go into that letter.
Yep.
So in that letter, there's a table at the bottom, and all the dates will go into that letter.
So just keep watching that website link that I showed you how to get to under activities, class of 2021, and there's that newsletter. Just bookmark that newsletter, put it underneath on your bookmarks tab, and you can check that all the time. So I'll be updating for next week's senior parent meeting right away. And once you guys have decided on a poll, whether to do Speedway or do the drive up, that will go in there as well.
There's a lot of oh, you answered it already.
You can answer it out loud too if you want. There's
the question, you know what one of your classmates shared, not a question, but a statement of like concern around people refusing to wear masks at the event. And one is the security at the Speedway are the ones who are running the staffing for us. We will also have school district staff on site to help support that. And so I hear you, and we're going to do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. And hopefully we can make it so those are the expectations, is that you have to wear masks when we're there. That's an expectation. So kind of just like in school, right? When do we have to turn
full name at graduation? Traditionally, when we have graduation, we have had teacher name readers that have been chosen to read your names, and they do read your first, middle, and last. That is tradition. If you need it to be changed for some reason, then what you do is you get a connection letter basically between the teacher that's going to end up reading your name and you. They'll probably check in with the bunch that they're going to be reading for, and you can adjust the name as need be. For example, if your name is Hank and you go by Harry, whatever.
oh, did she freeze?
No, she didn't. Jeanette, did you get that last
typing
question?
So I couldn't see.
Jeanette, did you see that last? It wasn't a question, it was more of a statement.
About the masks and people in the stands?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, when we communicate everything out on the ticket, it's going to say they're required to wear their masks at all times. That's something that we're going to communicate. We'll also, just like Mr. Willie got on the loudspeaker today, if you were at school, and he'll get on the loudspeaker tomorrow when you're at school, we're just going to clearly state those expectations. Like, we want to be here. And part of being here means that we're going to be safe and follow the expectations that have been set forth. And those expectations aren't set by us, like not Miss Blaine and Miss JJ, Mr. Willie and myself that set those expectations. It is, it's the county, it's the state. When we have these events, to be able to have them, we have to have people masked. So I hear your concerns. I want to honor that. I hear that. And we're going to do our best to make sure that nothing happens. And I've never been to the Speedway, so I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if people are taking their masks off and they're not enforcing it. I've never been there. But. Other questions?
We were there the other day.
Well, but there were fans there, JJ. I've never been to the Speedway while there were races going on. Let me be more specific. She's sassy. Sassy. It's not funny. Don't laugh about that. Don't totally encourage her.
Encourage me. I can get more sassy.
Alyssa, you're welcome. By the way, you're so welcome. All right. On that note, then, we're going to head out so Miss JJ can take some moments to come up with the Google form and get it sent to you. And Miss Blaine can work on updating the senior letter. And I can go play with my dog. My dog's like right there, jangling his collar. And he's really cute.
That's a weird sentence.
What? Oh my gosh. Caleb, have a great night too. Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you all. Y'all are awesome. And hopefully see you tomorrow if you weren't there today.
Good night. Have a good day, guys.
Good night. Bye. Oh my goodness. Look at all those thank yous. Good night.
Love you.
Thank you. Yeah, we do love you.